So I get millions of views each month and I help people do the same thing. But how do I do it? Like, what's the actual plan that I follow? And if you stick around and watch this, it's probably going to be, a 10-minute video. I'm just going to give you the plan that I follow because you guys are enjoying these sort of more raw YouTube long form style videos. So let me take you through the process. Okay. And this isn't just me it's working for. Some people will look at my account and think, well, you've already got 120,000 followers on Instagram, however many on TikTok and Facebook. The thing I would say to you is this works regardless of what size you are, because no longer are we in the area of social media. We're in the time of interest media. So the algorithms are going to show you what you're interested in. And it means that some of these accounts with millions and millions of followers aren't getting the views they used to. And you can see that's a bit of a concern around a lot of creators. But that's how it should be, in my opinion. The best content always rises to the top. So if you create an exceptional piece of content today, you're going to grow. It doesn't matter what size you are. And a lot of growth experts out there will tell you that, it's too late. You've kind of missed it. You're not going to be able to grow like we grew because back then it was easier. And I would just say that that's a load of rubbish, politely. So what is the plan? Okay, there's a 5-step plan. And if you follow this, you're just going to be able to grow your account. So the first thing you need to do is research. Okay, most people believe they've got all of these unique ideas. And I'm not saying you don't, because everyone does. But before you go down the unique route, you need to learn the rules. Okay, because we learn the rules before we break the rules. So social media, all platforms are the same. Okay, I focus on Instagram. I've got 300,000 followers on TikTok, 100,000 on Facebook. All I do is post on Instagram and hit reshare to Facebook as well. And both Instagram and Facebook are on about 120,000 followers. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying I literally just repost what I'm doing on Instagram and I grow on Facebook. Okay, because I understand watch time retention. So within the research phase, like I say, a lot of people will just guess what type of content they think might work in their niche, not realizing that every niche is different. And the first thing you need to do is go out into your niche and find what type of content is working. Okay, because particular styles of content, particular types of formats will be holding people's attention longer than others. Okay, because every single niche is different. Okay, people's awareness and sophistication levels in that particular area are going to be different. So the easiest thing you can do, okay, and I use this, I was stagnant for probably 12 months at about 6,000 followers on Instagram, and I blew up to 50,000 followers within about 6 to 7 months, and I just used this process. If you go back through my Instagram, you can see when I made the change. So once you've identified and you've put together what I call a creator hit list, you now understand exactly what works in your niche. Okay, you've got your topics. Everything makes sense. You know what is working. That's step one. Then you just need to move on to planning your format. Okay, loads of people fail and give up because they find all of these different kind of inspiration content pieces and they think, I'm going to recreate something like this. But what they don't realize is they need a style that they can stick with so their audience becomes used to what they're going to put out. So I had a guy called Jacob come to me. He was stuck at 1,900 followers for 2 years and he went down the route of fancy equipment. He spent $5,000 actually on an Instagram course, which is absolutely insane. But he also spent thousands and thousands on lighting, a decent camera, and he didn't need to do that. I'm not saying he didn't have to do it because there are so many different ways to do this, but for me, why I talk about your format, planning your format, is what type of content are you actually going to be able to make within your weekly workflow? What's going to be consistent? For him, it was micro reels. Okay, quick 4-second B-roll footage on the background with proven hooks at the top of the screen to retain attention. And that's what worked. It took his account from literally 200 views to multiple 4,000 view videos like week 1. Okay, he found a format. So we've got research. You pick your viral format. And when I talk about format, I'm talking, think of reaction videos. That's a format. Think of side-by-side comparison videos. That's a format. So pick something. Carousels, that's a format. Okay, it doesn't have to be video. Pick your format. The next thing you need to do is script and record. So I follow what I call the viral sandwich method. Okay, really simple. You've got a hook. Your value is the filling in your sandwich, and your call to action is the other piece of bread. Okay, really simple. So once you script your video, you will be able to see before you actually record, like, does this make sense? You only need to say as much as you need to say, okay? Because the shorter you can keep your video, the more potent they become. And it means your watch time is just going to increase. So once you script, you've got something there, you can record it, okay? Once you've done that, you just need to post, but post with intention. So you can do things like finding out when your followers are online. In my experience, it doesn't really make a difference. But what I would be doing is posting and making use of Instagram's trial reel feature, okay, if you've got access to it, because it's just testing your content to non-followers, which is the most important thing. Okay, it is the reaction of people that don't know you to your content that determines your reach. Okay, so if non-followers watch your content a long way through, your content's going to go viral. It's as simple as that. So, and once you kind of understand the scripting and recording, you understand that video duration is so important, because the longer you make a video, the harder it's going to be to retain someone. Okay, so then you're posting with intention. Captions, don't use AI. Okay, what I like to do is I'll put a keyword in that will trigger a freebie kind of automation. But below that, I just like to write some stuff. Okay, if I'm feeling lazy, I might not, but I'll just write some things about, have a good weekend, get outside, make sure you actually go and do something enjoyable with your family this weekend. The other day I was just writing about the horse that I was watching in the field next to me whilst I was posting. But post with intention. Okay, and then from that point, all you need to do, the last step, step 5, is refine. Okay, because each week you can see and just track. Okay, I use specific spreadsheets to do it, but all we need to be tracking is, we know your video duration. Okay, how much did people watch? What was your watch time? You can put together formulas that just give you a really easy overview to say, cool, now I know because I've retained people past a certain point, my number's going to be higher. And the higher that number, the better you've retained someone. Okay, that's all this is. It's a game of retaining. Now, if you're looking at your data, and by data I just mean your views, your analytics, you can use the new Instagram Edits app to get a better handle on data, but you can work out, okay, which of my videos did I retain people? Okay, where did I get the longest watch time? Then you just double down on that particular style, but you learn from what you're doing. Okay, so I started a faceless page, it was about a year ago, in front of everyone, in front of my community. If you follow me since then, you'll know about it. I scaled it up to 100,000 followers. I think it took 6 months. That's because I did this. Okay, I looked at the data, I refined, I posted, I made it better, and then I went back. So each week I'd sort out which 5 to 7 videos I was going to post, posted them, cool. Then I looked back at the data 7 days later, and I looked at which ones performed the best. And that is the process, okay, on repeat. It's as simple as that. So I wanted to keep this video fairly short, but you guys are enjoying these long form style videos, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you want to learn more about what I do, you can swipe the system, you can grab a free template. I'll stick that in the template below, and connect with me on Instagram. That's where I am most often. And other than that, I want to wish you all a very successful week, and I'll see you very soon.